Welcome to the Wellness as a Way of Life podcast, your one-stop, all-encompassing source of wellness, knowledge, wisdom, inspiration, and motivation. Here we teach you why not all wellness trends are for you, how to figure out which ones are, how to best adapt them for your personal wellness toolbox, and how ultimately to integrate your wellness practices so fully that they become to feel like brushing your teeth. A foundational part of who you are and not a check mark on your to-do list. Welcome back. I'm calling this season 5 of Wellness as a Way of Life. In a minute, I'll break that down a little bit to give you a little bit more explanation of what I've been doing here on the back end. But first off, I just wanted to welcome you to the new season of my podcast. I'm super excited for 2024. There are so many incredible things going on. Selfishly in my life, I've got a lot of big changes coming up, a lot of projects on the go. I'm in the process of editing my book that shall be published towards the end of this year. So it is an exciting time. And what I wanted to do this season with my podcast is to focus on a few things more deeply. So it's kind of my theme of the year. Less, more deeply. So just to give you a bird's eye view, a couple of the threads of themes that are super interesting for me as a woman over 40, sort of going into a different phase of life. I'm really focusing on self-leadership, holistic wellness perspective of aging in terms of the beauty, in terms of perimenopause, menopause, in terms of sexuality, and in terms of spirituality, and how all those things are intertwined. So there's going to be a spattering of all my favorite topics, everything around, mindfulness, wellness practices, bedtime routines, morning routines, nourishment, plant-based, whole food living, movement, music, healing, full spectrum emotional living. All those things are going to be spattered, but I'm really going to focus and invite guests on that are specializing in leadership, self-leadership, perimenopause, menopause, and holistic views of sexuality, beauty, and spirituality as we age. So I hope you're excited. I hope you like the sort of cocktail, although I should say mocktail of things going on the podcast this year. And the first thing that will happen is a second mini series with my girl, Barbara San Roman. She and I are hosting, we've created and we're about to host the first cohort of a project we're very, very passionate about called Elevate and Lead. It is designed for women in corporate who are looking to optimize their leadership skills from a unique perspective. We're focusing on the intersection of wellness, self-leadership, and leadership, really helping women feel embodied, skin-deep confidence, and informed, like leadership is a thing that this is kind of our point. You can get good at it over years of experience, or you can get a lot more better, quicker, in a short period of time without the sort of decades of trial and error in our program. So it's 8 sessions over 8 months, and we're looking for 8 incredible women, just 8. And it's going to be amazing. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely tune in for the first diving deep mini-series. We're giving tangible tools that you can implement today. That'll be dropping. First one will drop this week and so on. The rest of the month of January. From there, I just wanted to, little side note, just to give you context, if maybe you happen to be paying extra attention to the ins and outs of my podcasting adventure. I started a new podcast last year But really what I did was rename my podcast. I mean, there was some pivoting in terms of my approach. So I went from mostly interviews that were an hour plus long to 50% interviews that were less than 30 minutes and lots of like short, potent, powerful solo episodes where I was really trying to share more value in giving listeners, again, things that they can do, things that they can think about differently now, wellness practices that are implementable without needing to work with someone. So, yes, Energetically You was my previous podcast. It is, it was a love. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. In a lot of ways, there was nothing wrong with it. I just pivoted and not knowing enough, I guess, about the podcasting world, I thought I needed to start a new podcast, meaning a new feed, a new everything. So that's what I did. And I realized, hindsight, a year in, after also talking with lots of other people that are more experts in podcasting, what I probably should have done was just change the name and rework my podcast within the existing RSS feed. So, long story short, I have now merged the two feeds, which meant going back to the Energetically You feed, but I'm still maintaining the new name, which is Wellness as a Way of Life. So hopefully I didn't lose you there. I say all that really just to put context. There were 3 powerful seasons of Energetically You. I've done 1 season of Wellness as a Way of Life, and this is starting now, therefore, the 5th season of my podcasting journey, and I'm really excited. I'll admit, some transparency here. There are times that it's not as, it just feels like work. Another thing I need to do in my business, but most of the time, and thanks to me taking a break over the last month, I've really got that spark back. Honestly, what I love about podcasting is interviewing people and having really fascinating conversations, learning something myself, giving other people a platform to share their wisdom and knowledge, and just a greater benefit of all. Ultimately, I look at it as something of service. And I'm really passionate about giving back, and I'll be getting more into how I'm giving back this year in a later podcast. But I did want to invite you. I am starting a new project. So I created this really impactful course, and I've been running it with different groups and amazing feedback. I want to shift it more into a community format this year. So the community is giving you access to the information, the audio, the videos, all of the resources that are in the course. But I'm going to be doing it more interactive. I'm going to be hosting live events once a month. I'm going to be doing wellness check-ins weekly. So it's really just going to be a really fun, lighthearted, sisterhood type vibe. The women that are already in it, my founding members, if you will, there are about 24 of them, are all such incredible people. And I know that that's the same caliber of women that this kind of work is going to attract. Women who, let's face it, have already done a lot of trial and error, are kind of sick of all the trends. They're looking to sit back and feel more grounded in a holistic wellness perspective of their lives, which means that they always have access to their own personal toolbox of wellness practices that they can weave in and weave out, and not just drop the fucking massive layer of guilt that most of us have been carrying around for decades. So this container, which also called Wellness as a Way of Life. Easy, right? So it's called Wellness as a Way of Life. You can access it through my website. I'll also have the link here below in the show notes. It is, a really great community. you can tap in and tap out to the content. There are 12 modules, and I'm sort of making mostly the live events are, featuring an aspect of each one of the modules. And January, I'm focusing all on nourishment. I don't know about you, but I really leaned into eating way more cookies and Christmas treats, and just because we were doing more together, my husband and I, we probably had, I just sort of leaned into more of his diet and just eating like really luxuriously, if you will, which can be nice, but I honestly know and in my soul feel better when I eat clean. Kind of an overused word. What I mean by that is, low on the processed food in general, particularly anything with high amounts of sodium, sugar, chemicals, preservatives. And in general, I don't eat a lot of meat and I don't eat a lot of dairy. That was not how I acted over the last 3+ weeks. So I've been doing a detox and really just reminding myself, the loving reminder that we all need, just like get a little bit back closer to the things that make you feel good, eat more of those and a little less of the other thing. So one thing that I'm really honing in on is this quote that I got from a Netflix series. I'll have to look up actually which doctor said it. And I don't know if it's one of his taglines. I've actually had a colleague quote me already saying it. I think it's, pretty harmless. It's just a catchy phrase to help you remember to focus on your greens and not your genes. So that's my vibe for January. Nourishment, nourishment, nourishment. Focus on your greens and not your genes. And that's kind of twofold. Like just add in more vegetables, more plants, more dark leafy greens, more algae, more broccoli, more fresh herbs. You chop them up, you put them on everything. You can blend your juice with parsley. You can blend your juice with cilantro, like all these cute things that I've learned in Mexican culture that just spice up your life with greens and spices, sure. But focus on greens because that's really what helps our body do a natural detox, our dark greens. If you're interested, I've been sharing in most of my platforms in my communities a 7-day detox that you can do by the book. And it's got shopping lists and everything. If that's something you want support doing, reach out. If you've never detoxed before, I wrote a lengthy explanation in my LinkedIn newsletter that just went out this morning. And this morning being a week before I'm going to publish this. So it's already in my LinkedIn. Again, if you want reference to it, I can hand it over to you. A really in-depth, frequently asked questions around detoxing sugar in particular. It's not something, it's not easy. It's not easy to do a full detox. So there's lots of ways to thread in. And I've been working a lot with clients last year in particular. What are the ways, I had a lot of clients that are very kind of tied to a given system or detox or, like food perspective, if you will. And I said, I've been saying, what do you actually really love about that, what you're doing? And where do you feel like it's kind of like this, I'm so over it, I don't want to do it anymore. Just bring the parts that you love into your life more instead of it being this stop, start, So as much as I think it's really valuable, and I'm currently doing it for 7 days, we'll see, 6, I've got company coming into town. So for sure 6. So the general way that I look at detoxing, key things to pull out of your diet to really gain valuable data information for yourself about how you are interacting with all of these, I call them everyday toxins, but things that are just heavier on your system, harder to digest, not trying to demonize anything really. What I like to cut out, and I think it's really valuable for everyone to do at least once a year, take a break, give your digestive system a break on sugar, highly processed foods, meat products, particularly processed meat products, and gluten, dairy, coffee, alcohol, and of course, if you're smoking or anything like that, and also like rest the system on all of the supplements you're taking. Of course, if you're taking medication, you should you should, depending on how severe or important the medication is, do you need to talk to your doctor before you do something like this? It's always a good idea regardless, especially if you've never done one. So I think that's where I was going, and I will quickly wrap this up, which is there are so many ways to detox. You don't have to do it exactly how I'm doing it. You can get really a lot of information and benefit from just detoxing one of those things that I just mentioned. You don't need to do it all in one shot. You also don't need to do 7 days. Start with 24 hours, then ramp it up to 3 days, and then maybe the next time. And like some people detox once a month. I don't think that's necessary if you're eating relatively healthy. I think annually is essential. Seasonally, probably ideal. A couple times a year for sure. To me, it's just this massive boost in energy. It's like a reset to the system. So I don't know about you, but I tend to open a million tabs on my computer and thinking like if I have it open, I'll remember to go back and I'll do the thing that's required. And then at some point it gets to have 50 tabs open and my computer's operating slow. It's exactly the same thing. So when you have these layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of things that you're eating that are like not that great or just a little bit harder on your system than, eating really, really healthy, and combined with, the not eating well usually means that your digestion's going to be slow, so your energy's slow. It's taxing your immune system. It's taxing your ability to sleep profoundly. All these things. So it's just like this win-win. So now I'm rambling a bit. I will wrap it up to say, hang out. So happy you're here. If you kind of miss the whole wellness is a way of life shift because you've just been hanging out on the Energetically You feed and now you're hearing this, welcome. And I'm so glad to have you all here. I really deeply appreciate your interest, and I love to hear from you. So if there's something that you would love to know more about, have an expert come on the podcast, I am always open to hearing about new guests and opportunities to connect with people. So please reach out. You know where to find me. All the links are in the show notes here on all platforms. It's at Megan Swan Wellness. That's also my website. And yeah, take a little peek. Check out my community, Wellness is a Way of Life. And I'm wishing you a meaningful, potent, deep, grounded, loving 2024.